You're listening to the Penguin Business Beat. At this point in the show, we call up Jack Covert, founder and chairman of 800 CEO Read. Jack is the co-author of the 100 Best Business Books of All Time.
Today, I'd like to talk with you about Andy Grove's Only the Paranoid Survive, which fits into our rebooting in a perfect way. He, in fact, has coined a phrase called strategic inflection points. Those are the points where your world is come to an end. Strategic inflection points are very hard to see when they happen. He uses the metaphor of a hiker walking and suddenly is lost. He doesn't know when he went lost, but things are different and something had changed. And now he knew he's lost. And Intel, where Andy Grove was one of the founders, had reached a strategic inflection point. They had been involved in memory chips, and that was a huge part of their business with the memory chips. And in the mid-'80s, the Japanese came into the memory chip market and totally ate Intel's lunch, just destroyed the pricing, and the quality of the product was significantly better than Intel. Intel had a real problem. It's funny, one of the stories in the book, he talks about, in 1985, Andy Grove was in the office of Gordon Moore, who was a CEO, and they were talking about the problem that they had. And Andy Grove said, if we get kicked out and the board brought in a new CEO, what do you think he would do? Well, Gordon answered without hesitation, he would get us out of memories. I stared at him numb and said, why shouldn't you and I walk out the door and come back and do it ourselves? And Intel got out of the memory chips and got into the processor chip businesses, which is where they have lived for the past 25 years and done very well, thank you very much. But what they did is they reacted quickly. They didn't react as quickly as they could have, but they reacted quickly and decisively and rebooted themselves. Andy Grove's book, Only the Paranoid Survive, is a book that one would think would be a biography or a big think book about computers. It is not. It is, the subtitle is what the book is all about: how to exploit crisis points that challenge every company and career. That is what Only the Paranoid Survives. Andy Grove talks about the experience that he had at Intel, at least this one point, and all the other points along the way that they had to make big decisions and reboot themselves. Andy Grove uses this strategic inflection point to point out how major industries have gone through huge changes, and I think in publishing we are in the middle of a strategic inflection point. And it's who reacts the fastest and the quickest are the ones that will survive the best. And so it is applicable today as it was in 1985 when it was written.